te namang pahi nityam, te namang pahi nityam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light. Lead us from death to immortality, and evermore shine in our hearts with your resplendent face. Om peace, peace, peace. So we are in the seventh chapter. Last time we read the verse. The question was that what is the sign of a person who has identified himself with the Atman? Please tell me that. And then Sri Bhagavan said in the verse 2 that the consciousness is in the heart like that of thumb, and that reality is to be understood by a very sharp intellect and concentrated mind. And all the scriptures talk about that consciousness as residing in the heart of all in the form of like a size of a thumb. And now we start our reading today, verse number 4, 5, and all onward. So what does it say? Fourth verse says, महाकाशे घटे जाते महाकाशे घटे जाते अवकाशो घटमध्यगाः अवकाशो घटमध्यगाः घटावच्छिन्नयाकाश घटावच्छिन्नयाकाश कथ्यते लोकपण्डितैः कथ्यते लोकपण्डितैः. So, as a, what is this the example? Mahakashe ghate. Mahakashe means the great space. Suppose this is the space, big space, unobstructed space. In that unobstructed great space, a ghata, you put on pitcher. Then you say, this pitcher is occupying the space. You call the space occupied by the pitcher is space occupied by outside and inside. It divides. This wall has divided. Say a border of US border, Mexico border. There is space. There is no line. There is no. But we say, hey, your plane has crossed our border line. So how is border line? It is a space. It is the space. There is no such division. But you have prepared a line of demarcation, and we imagine vertically that goes up to this sky, and your military troops should not come to my military troop because you are crossing our space. So similarly, though there is no division in the akasha, so we create division. Similarly, put a pitcher. There is no pitcher. You put the pitcher. You can the space, pitcher space, and space outside. So we say these two ways. So Mahakase Ghate, in this great space, in the picture, Jate generated avakaso, a space. It creates as if a space is created in the jar. You cannot create space. Space is everywhere. Wherever you take the space, it penetrates everything. And say, this is our house. This is my room. That is your room. All this relative thing you are creating in the infinite space. So as you can create separation in this way, Ghatakasa, a Mahakase, Ghate Jate, Avakaso, there comes an opportunity or occasion to think about this space, Ghatamadhaga, in the middle of the Ghata, what is remaining in the, suppose, ocean, water. Oh, water is everywhere. Now you put one bucket. Then you say water, bucket water. Bucket water has no real meaning. because it's a water inside, water outside, and if it is made of perforated material like clay, then water penetrates into that also. So there is no division. The space is like that, but we make a division. This is the due to our ignorance. So that will be the idea. So Ghatavachinna Akasu Kattate. People say Lok Pandite. By the scholars of the world, they say that Akasha is divided into two segments. Space occupied by the Akasha, Ghata. Ghata means the pitcher, and space outside. We make a distinction. Similarly, कूटस्थो अपि तथा बुद्धि कूटस्थो अपि तथा बुद्धि कल्पिता तु यदा भवेत् कल्पिता तु यदा भवेत् तदा कूटस्थ चैतन्यम तदा कूटस्थ चैतन्यम बुद्धि अंतस्थं विभासते बुद्धि अंतस्थं विभासते बुद्धि अवच्छिन्न चैतन्यम बुद्धि अवच्छिन्न चैतन्यम जीव लक्ष्यम तमेव हि जीव लक्ष्यम तमेव हि. Very beautiful. With this example being carried out, this body is a picture. If the body is there, let's say we have inside, we have outside. So one consciousness which is inside and the same consciousness is outside. No? But we make a distinction. I here, thinking by body mind picture, is making a distinction in the infinite space. So that's why it is said that kutaste opi, in the kutasto means kuta means unchanging. Kuta means which is not on a changing its position or changing its size, shape. Kutastha. It is like Kutastha example is given like in traditional example. You go to the blacksmith shop, nowadays you don't see them. They used to make all types of spade, rings, iron chain, on hammering on one anvil. Anvil is called Kutastha. Anvil does not change. But upon it, things get changed. So Kutastha Chaitanya means unchanging consciousness. Kutasthe, unchangeable, even is the tatha in the similar manner. Our buddhi, our intellect imagines. Our intellect imagines, I am this. This consciousness in me is here. And this is or the space occupied by my body. You see, a man dies, what happened? The space occupied by the man goes away. I am now holding a body. I am occupying certain space. But when someone dies, his body is burnt. Where does space go? Do space walk out or get in? Space remains space. In your imagination, you are thinking you have occupied some space. Similarly, the consciousness is one consciousness. In your buddhi, in your understanding, you have thought, I am this body. I am this mind. So you are making a separation in your understanding, intellectual understanding. That might go beyond mind. So long mind is there, buddhi is there, so this distinction and discrimination happens. So it says, Kutastopi tatha buddhi, tatha in the similar manner, buddhi, intellect, in the intellect, kalpita, it is imagined. What is kalpita? To yada bhavet, when some imagination comes in the buddhi, tada kutastha chaitanyam, that chaitanya, that consciousness, which is kutastha, that kutastha chaitanyam, immutable consciousness, buddhi, buddhya anata, buddhi antastham vivasate. Buddhi, in the buddhi, that reveals like that, shines like that. Therefore, that is called the buddhi avachinna chaitanya. That means it is the consciousness limited by the intellect. In your mind, you are thinking that there is no division in space. The main purport of this verse to say there is no division in consciousness, as there is no division in the space. Only you make a space. I purchased a land. Oh, how big is your land? Oh, my land is 1.3 acre. Huh? Is there any infinite space like 1.3 acre? It is all this space. You have mentally thought, I possess this land. No. You say, I have entered in a new home. Everyone asks, how many square feet? Oh, 400 square feet. You 1,000 square feet. Where is 1,000 square feet? In the space is space. You break the wall, then it is the same space. And even if you don't break the wall, the space inside and outside you cannot separate out. It's so fine. It penetrates the wall, it penetrates the rocks and mountains, everywhere. You cannot make a separate. The whole globe is rotating in the space. Huh? So wherever the globe is there, it is occupying that space. But really, space is divided into this and that. It's just a mental imagination. Similarly, the Kutastha Chaitanya, the unchangeable consciousness, is remaining the same. You are thinking in your buddhi that I am avachin, I am limited. So this is the great idea for Vedanta student to think that I am that pure Brahman. How to think I am that pure Brahman? This is the way to think that I, as a space, infinite space, and the space within the picture, the same. There is no difference. Similarly, the consciousness, which is apparent here, and the separation. But who makes the separation? It's your buddhi. Your intellect creates this distinction. Intellect function is to say this is this, this is that. This is not this, this is this. So buddhi or intellect, that means whole spiritual life remains in buddhi shuddhi, purification of the intellect, understanding. The whole society lives on purification of understanding. When misunderstanding comes, what is that? Then the big countries all raising their atomic, what do you call the, all the missiles and anti-missiles and all fighting, misunderstanding. And one word, good word comes in, okay, we withdraw everything. No, it's happening where? In the mind. So all the distinction is happening in the mind, ashuddha mind, impure mind. Impure mind in impure intellect is the same. But here, pure mind will, all distinction vanishes. Pure mind is clear glass. You see through the clear glass. Impure mind is seeing to the clouded lens. So this is the point to understand the distinction between individual consciousness and the cosmic consciousness. That is the subject here. As the Pandits normally call that as Ghata was the space occupied by the pitcher, when you put a pitcher in the middle of a space, big space. Similarly, Kutastha Chaitanya, that means unchangeable consciousness, that imagines that I am this. It is an expression of consciousness. Then that this is called individual consciousness. So individual consciousness and cosmic consciousness have no distinction, excepting distinction is done by our intellect. So when a potter creates a picture in the great space, Learned people of the world refer to the space inside the picture to be space limited by the picture. Understand? It's an old traditional example. Picture example is good because picture is made of the clay, and clay, the space can penetrate easily. Understood? Space penetrates into the thickness of the picture wall. Inside is space, outside is space, and even the thickness. That's why this body, what you see, imagine that this is a picture placed in the infinite ocean of consciousness. So what is inside is the same consciousness, outside is the same consciousness. And when the understanding goes to that far, they feel that the entire body is permeated with that consciousness. It is bliss and peace. That's why thrill, experience, joy, absolute horripilation comes in the whole body because it penetrates into the every pore of the personality. So that is the very easy example to understand this cosmic principle. When the intellect is imagined in the immutable consciousness, Kutastha, then the unchangeable consciousness, unchanging consciousness shines forth as if it is placed within the intellect. You verily are that consciousness which is limited by intellect and regarded as individual soul. So, what you are only that consciousness, infinite consciousness, only limited by the intellect that is regarded as individual soul. Individual, all individual soul is nothing but an intellectual concept that infinite consciousness is divided into two and feeling that I am an individual soul. So Aham and Brahma, this distinction happens. That's why, is it clear? This is the very example is old example, but this is to be understood that this distinction, whatever is done, that's why Sri Ramakrishna says, Ak Gyan Gyan, Bahu Gyan or Gyan. Knowing one is called knowledge. Bahu Gyan, knowing many, is called Agyan, is ignorance. But opposite in the society. If you know many things, then you are a Gyani. Huh? If you ask some question, you know all the replies of the question. Huh? So what we say, oh my God, he knows everything. What a Gyani. But that is Agyan. Because buddhi, your intellect, is split into so many things, and you know the object in its apparent value. But when the mind becomes pure, no one sees multiplicity. What they see the oneness. What is Brahma Jnana? Brahma Jnana means that knowledge, when it dawns, that person sees only God everywhere, nothing but God. So, how? That means seeing one. Seeing one comes when the buddhi becomes pure. But a person may be in this material world, very intelligent person, but he is intelligent, but he is not a knower of Brahman. That is a different intelligence necessary. When it is free from all attachment, anger, feeling of duality, gone from that intellect, then that intellect gives us the wisdom. Sa chaturi chaturi. That type of cleverness is the real cleverness. People are clever in the world and do so many things and get a good credit. But real cleverness is to know that there is no many, it's only one. That's solid one. So, so when a potter creates a picture, they suppose there is empty space, no? You go to the potter's shop, did you see how they do? There is a wheel and put the clay they prepare the clay in a very ideal way. And they have their hand, finger touches such, they create the shape and size of the picture, no? When it is not created, space is the only space. But as soon as a picture is created, that we call space within the picture, space outside the picture. So when the body was not here, we didn't occupy any space. Now body has come into being, and as I am growing, I'm becoming bigger and bigger. I'm occupying bigger and bigger space. But really, are you encroaching into space this way or that way? It is the same space. So, similarly, the consciousness, which is individually here, which is everywhere, it is all the same. Only distinction is our misunderstanding, intellectual misunderstanding. The potter creates a picture in the space. Learned people of the world refer to the space inside the picture to be space limited by a teacher called Ghato Avachinna Akasa, Sanskrit term. Similarly, when the intellect is imagined in the immutable consciousness, your buddhi, I am something, this conviction is imagined in the infinite consciousness, then the unchangeable consciousness, that there is no change in the consciousness, no change in the space. We say, oh, the sky has become polluted. Sky does not get polluted anytime. No bomb busting or a fire or sword can cut the space, can do any change in the space. The space is space all the time, pure. Sometimes pollution comes, sometimes pollution goes. But space does not change for that. So that Atman never changes. Pollution comes, negativity comes, positivity comes, it goes, comes. Atman is ever pure. That's why Vedanta's philosophy is Atman is pure all the time, untouched by any malice. It may appear. That's why Vedanta says, what is this? This is apparent. It appears like that. You are a human being, you are doing good, you are a good man, a bad man, you are a spiritual, you are not spiritual. These are all clouds which has come in between the pure space. It will come, it will go. The pot will be here, pot will break one day. When the pot is created, pot does not remain in the world. No body, no structure remains in the world forever. It breaks one time. It goes back to space again. So this is very important idea for meditation in Vedantic way. That the same consciousness which is in me, the same consciousness. In the Ashtavakra, Sangita and other places, Yoga Vasishta will find this example is given. Think of you like a pitcher. Ramakrishna gave that one meditation formula. That you think that you are like a pitcher made of clay. Your body is made of something. And you are just dipped inside ocean. Ocean, water, 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 water. Water inside also. In the pitcher, whole nothing but water. Only the thickness of the wall of the pitcher, maybe 100 different types, 1,000 times different. We differ there. But even that difference is interpenetrated by the water. So water is inside, water is outside, water is even the imaginary buddhi, etc., which makes me different from you. They are also the same consciousness. Same. So think of that.
But do you have to think this closing your eyes, sitting in the shine, or you are walking around, or you can think in that?
If you have the power to do that. But first do it here so that it comes to the working time. If you are a mature person, yeah, mature person can with eyes open keep the conscious mind into that level of thought. But it does not come so easily. I'll talk about alu potal mulo, potato rice and garbanjal, and I'll see Brahman. That will not so easy. So that's why to make the mind free from garbanjal and potato and rice, no, and then when it's saturated with the thought of God or thought of this consciousness. If one can think, of course it is possible, why not? Walking in the street, looking at the trees. Your mind should be there. But how the mind will be there if you keep the mind always in the garbage of the world? So that is the one problem. So if you want to remove the garbage from the world, we need to sit in the isolated meditation. And then taking that advantage while walking and seeing things, we can do that. That's why Vedanta is Ramakrishna said. Vedanta is your Brahman is there when you close your eyes and you open your eyes, Brahman is gone, vanished. It should not be. It should be here, it should be there. That's the practical application. It's a great joy if one can think in this way about the consciousness, if one can think. Really great achievement. Similarly, when the intellect is imagined in the immutable consciousness, now suppose immutable consciousness is there, unending consciousness everywhere, ocean of consciousness, and there you put one concept of intellect. I, my understanding. I understand. I am this. I am that. Huh? You put that concept. That's the concept. Otherwise, when people get into the samadhi, that concept goes away. Therefore, they, though in the body, but they're beyond the limitation of the body, mind, emotions, and ego. So imagine immutable consciousness. Then the unchangeable consciousness shines forth as if it is placed within the intellect. Then that unchangeable consciousness shines forth through the intellect. Intellect was covered, so the light was not coming. Now intellect is this. My intellect has covered this body. I am the body, and that covering is so dark. The inner light is not shining forth. But when that intellect will be purified, man, Shuddha man, Ramakrishna said, Shuddha man, Shuddha buddhi, Shuddha atma, ak. When your mind will be purified, Shuddha man, when your buddhi will be understanding or intellect will be clean, Shuddha buddhi, Shuddha atma, the pure atma, they are all same. So there is no distinction. Only it depends on the purification of the intellect and the mind. Chitta Shuddhi. That's why Chitta Shuddhi is a very beautiful term. That is the practical thing everyone should practice so that that Chitta Shuddhi, purity of the soul, comes in. Without that, no spiritual experience possible. Buddhi Shuddhi. That's why people take Sattvika food. Even food, starting from physical food to your everyday movement of life, every thought you think, you are the creator of your thoughts to the intellect. And the thought is God centered thought or worldly centered thought. When you think of worldly thoughts, you are polluting the mind and you are putting another layer of cloud on it. And when you want to think of God, one layer of cloud is you are trying to wipe out. So when that wiping out continues day and night, then the clear glass will give the idea what is inside, what is outside. Same consciousness permeates, same joy, ocean of joy, here and here. Uh, that's why Thakur used to say that there came one sadhu, one holy man in Dakshineshwar, and he used to get up in the early morning, and with the rising of the sun, he will come out of his meditation place and he used to clap his hand and dance and sing. What a beautiful God everywhere. Seeing that God's presence everywhere. Singing the glories of God. Seeing the presence of the divine. You verily are the consciousness. Therefore, you are verily the consciousness, but limited by the intellect. And then you say, I am a jiva. You are the same consciousness, Satchidananda, limited by the intellect, ego, buddhi. Buddhi avachinna. Avachinna means limited. Buddhi avachinna, and a limited, only putting a limitation of buddhi. You say individual, I am individual soul, you are something different. Aham, tvam, all this distinction comes. I, thou, it, everything comes. So it is only the consciousness. But when you are putting some veil of ignorance, and ignorance in the form of your intellect, that is the cause of all suffering. Now, sixth verse. Pragyanam tachagayanti pragyanam tachagayanti Veda Shastra Visharadaha Veda Shastra Visharadaha Ananda Brahma Shabdabhyam Ananda Brahma Shabdabhyam Visheshana Visheshitam Visheshana Visheshitam Pradganam Tachagayanti Veda Shastra Visharada. Veda Shastra, the scripture of like Vedas, the Shastras, those who are Visharada. Visharada means experts. The experts of the Vedas, Veda scriptures, Veda Shastra Visharada, Vishesh Pragyanam Tachagayanti. They say this is called Pragyanam. This is called the knowledge, supreme knowledge, that as Gayanti. So, erudite scholars of the Vedic scriptures sing the glory of that supreme knowledge. All the scriptures are talking about the glory of the Atman, glory of the Brahman. So, this is the Brahman which is immutable consciousness, all pervaded consciousness, where there is no limitation created by your buddhi or my buddhi. That buddhi is gone. Buddhi Suddha, Suddha buddhi. Then that is called Brahman, that is called the Pragyanam, the ideal, the highest knowledge, Pragyanam. And they only Ananda Brahma Shabdabhyam Visheshana Visheshita. They only define it how? What is Brahman? There are two words. What is called Visheshana and Visheshitam. That means it is defined or characterized by the adjective or attribute. What is that? It is called the bliss, two adjectives. Ananda, Ananda means bliss, and Brahma. Brahma and Ananda, these two words they use for this reality. So the erudite scholars, the Vedanta Pandits, they always say, sing the glory of this Atman, the glory of this Brahman, the glory of this cosmic principle which is called Pragyanam. Pragyan. This is called the Pragyan. And that's why they say one great dictum, Pragyanam Brahma. Pragyanam. Aham Brahmasmi is one great dictum. Similarly, Pragyanam Brahma. Pragyan is the knowledge. Knowledge is Brahman. Not this material knowledge, the supreme knowledge, the absolute knowledge of the Kutastha, the undefinable, unchangeable reality. So, Pragyanam Tachagayanti Veda Shastro Visharada. Veda Shastro Visharada, the experts in the scriptural knowledge of the Vedas, they say Pragyanam, they call it Pragyan. Like Brahma. Brahma is one word, Pragyan is another word. Ananda Brahma Shabdabham. They express this normally in the scriptures always. Brahman, Ananda. Anandam Brahmeti Vijanat. You know, Ananda. Ananda is the Brahman. No Brahman. What is the Brahman? How do you understand what is Brahman? Well, where there is Ananda, that is Brahman. Anandam Brahmo iti Vijanyat. So two words are used, Ananda and Brahma. These are the two words the scholars, this adept in scriptures, they use these two adjectives. Therefore, Shankaracharya says, oh, and we need not, that's more to go inside the same idea. অবিচ্ছিন্ন চিদাভাস তৃতীয় স্বপ্ন কল্পিত। অবচ্ছিন্ন চিদাভাস ও স্বপ্ন কথিত অর্থাৎ পারমার্থিক আদিবাসীভাবে এই ত্রিবিধ প্রকার জীব বিক্ষেপ। হ্যাঁ, now he's dividing. আচ্ছা, no, we need not go to that details. It is, if you have any question, then we can discuss. Otherwise, he's going into detail. That's good to know. That's it. This is individual জীব. Shankaracharya says, অবচ্ছিন্ন চিদাভাস অবচ্ছিন্ন চিদাভাস তৃতীয় স্বপ্ন কল্পিত। তাহলে থ্রি স্টেটস, অবচ্ছিন্ন, চিদাভাস এন্ড স্বপ্ন। একটা হচ্ছে পারমার্থিক, একটা হচ্ছে প্রাতিভাসিক, একটা ব্যবহারিক। These are the three types of jiva. There are jiva in three types. One is in the ব্যবহারিক, in transactional, basic, and paramarthik, the absolute. তার দরকার নেই বাবা। ওকে, তাহলে কি হলো? What is the conclusion? Do we get the conclusion? They started with this discussion that there is one space, infinite space, and infinite space we create division, and in that space we say my body, your body, my body is my ghata, my potter, my is a pot. That is a pot, this is a pot, that is a pot, and you are occupying certain space. Similarly, infinite consciousness, infinite bliss is occupying little in this pot, in this body, my body. I am understanding, I see, I know, because of the consciousness behind this body mind reflected to that expression is coming. But there is no separation. Consciousness is the same whether here or there. And that example has been carried out, that it is all the scriptural experts in the scriptures, those Veda Shastra Visharada, they are Dacha Gayanti, they sing the glories of that pragyan, that knowledge, that cosmic knowledge. And they term it in two languages, Ananda Brahma Shabdabhyam, Visheshana Visheshita. With this Visheshana, with this adjective of Pragyana and Brahma, they are the Ananda and Brahma. They use these two terms to indicate that that is unchanging. You cannot divide anything.
So Pragyana and Ananda, they are the same thing.
No, Ananda and Brahma, they are the same. Pragyanam
They
Gayanti.
are said that Anandam Brahma Sabha.
Veda Shastra Visharada Gayanti, their glory of the Pragyan. Pragyanam is Ananda, Brahma Shabda. Ananda and Brahma, in both words they are expressed. They are expressed in their society as Brahman and
Question is, Pragyanam also Brahma. This knowledge also is Brahma. Ananda is Brahma.
That's
Pragyan
it.
also Brahma.
We are talking about the Pragyan. Pragyan means the absolute knowledge, and that is Gayanti Veda Shastra. That is everywhere. That is the fundamental talk, and they are expressed in two languages. One is Ananda, another is Brahma.
Also, knowledge is expressed in two ways.
Acha. So 7 verses. What is this Pragyan? It said that it is through the knowledge you only know everything. 7 verses. Srinoti yeno janati, Srinoti yeno janati, Pashyati cha vijikrati, Pashyati cha vijikrati, Swado aswadanam vijanati, Swado aswadanam vijanati, Shitasna adikam tatha, Shitasna ushnadikam tatha, Shitancha, Shitancha usnadikam tatha, Shitan Sado asadam vijanati, Swado aswadanam vijanati, Shitancha Ushna dikam tatha Shitancha Ushna dikam tatha. So Srinoti Yeno, it's a Keno Upanishad exactly like that. Huh? Srinoti Yeno, you hear. By what? By whose power you hear? What is there behind the ear? This ear does not hear. The nervous system does not hear. They are carriers. Brain does not hear. It is only an instrument. And neurons are agitated this way, that way. It carries to the mind. Mind does not do. Mind is jara, matter. Buddhi does not do. It is also matter. Ego does not do. It is also matter. Tell me, what is that? There is that consciousness. So that consciousness which you talked about, praganam, that praganam is everywhere. But how do you understand? In you, in Ananda and Brahma, two words are used that. But in your look at your personal life, every experience you are having, yena, by whom? Yena, by whom? By what consciousness? You know, janati. You know things. I know something. How do you know? A dead body does not know. When you are sleeping, you do not know. So what is your, you know, almost don't know. In the deep sleep, you know, but you don't know. So, say, let us take the experience, the gross experience in the waking state experience. So, Srinoti yena, Janati yena, Pashyati yena, Vijigrati yena. Jigrati, no? When you smell something, how do you feel? Oh, it is good smell. Oh, it is bad smell. How do you know? What is the consciousness, conscious entity behind that allows you to say this? You see. How do you see? Eyes don't see. You know, you can see like this, your mind is somewhere, you don't see anything. A big thing may happen before your eyes, but your mind is absorbed in somewhere. You don't see at all. You don't hear that. That means eyes don't see. You can say step by step, eyes don't see, but eyes are instrument. But it sees, seeing capacity is the consciousness. We say I'm conscious of it. What is that consciousness? That is the prajna. That is called the ananda. That is expressed in Ananda and Brahman. And Srinoti jena, Yanati jena, by which you know, Pashyati jena, by which you see, Bijikriti, how you can smell, Swada, Aswadanam, Bijanati, the taste of Aswadan, good taste, you know. By what power? Sita, you understand, it's cold. Ushna, it's warm. Today is a hot day. How do you know? What is that? Srinoti yena, janati yena, pashyati yena, vijigrati yena, swado aswadanam vijanati. That's sheetasno, sheet, cold, usno, heat, etc., etc. These are all known. How do you know? Chaitannam Vedana Rupam Chaitannam Vedana Rupam Tat Sarvo Vedanasrayam Tat Sarvam Vedanasrayam Alaksham Shuddha Chaitannam Kutastham Lakshayet Suti Alaksham Shuddha Chaitannam Kutastham Lakshayet Sruti. The Chaitanyam Vedana Rupam, consciousness acts as a Vedana means awareness. The feeling comes. Tat Sarva Vedana Asrayam, because that Brahman, but Chaitanya is a substratum Asrayam of Sarva Vedana. Vedana is a Bengali term, very we understand. Vedana means it's a feeling, it's pain, or it's an experience. Vedana. Sarva Vedana, all our feelings of emotions and anger and frustration, joys and suffering, Even those, first they say seeing, hearing, etc., etc. Now going one step down, all the feeling of emotions, love, hatred, anger, frustration. This is called the Vedana, the feeling inside. Chaitanya, that is the ground of that is the Chaitanya. Consciousness is the ground of that. Tat, Sarva Vedana Asrayam. That consciousness is the asraya, the substratum of all your feelings and emotions. So you see, you're seeing as a gross object, but you're feeling, I like it, I dislike it, I hate it. That feeling also, that is reflected by that consciousness. You can hear something, see something, eat something. If eating something, you may feel some uh, irritation, or you can be extremely happy. But that feeling also, ground of that feeling is the same consciousness. Sarvo Vedana, Chaitanyam Vedana Rupam. Tat Sarva Vedana Asrayam. Alaksham Shuddha Chaitanyam Kutastham Lakshayat Shruti. The Shruti, the Upanishad. The Upanishad declares Lakshayat. It indicates what it indicates. Alaksham. You cannot point out to something. It is beyond pointing to any goal. That means it is infinite. Shuddha Chaitanya, pure consciousness, and it is unchangeable, Kutastham. So that is the ground of all perception, ground of all feeling, emotions, or feeling of joys and suffering, heat and cold, and everything that has been defined by. It is not Sri Krishna says, I am not saying. Laksha is Shruti, the Upanishads, the sages, the rishis, they have declared this that all Aksham Shuddha Chaitanya. That is the Shuddha Chaitanya, pure consciousness, is the unchangeable Kutastham, that is all Aksham. You cannot define it, you cannot just describe it or can indicate it. It is like this. You cannot say anything. So it says then, erudite scholars of the Vedic scriptures sing the glory of that supreme knowledge, Prajnanam, and define it by two adjectives, bliss and Ananda. Bliss and Ananda and Brahma. And now 7 and 8, what we read just now. That by which one hears, knows, sees, smells, and recognizes the experiences of taste, cold, heat, etc. That is the awareness in the form of sensations and is verily the source of all sensations. This is indicated by the Upanishads as invisible, immutable, pure consciousness. So that is the verse 7, and that is the end of 8.
So this Chaitanya Vedana Rupam. Vedana is a pain. How it can be the pain?
Vedana means pain, Vedana means also awareness. Vedana. There are two meanings. Vedana means pain. Normally we say it is the Vedana. I am feeling pain. Vedana. But Vedana is the experience of some, it's a feeling. Feeling is expressed that way. Okay, so we can end here. If you have any questions. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Just meditate. What we read is enough. Think of the ghata. Think that you are a pitcher. Your body is a pitcher. Think that is dipped into the ocean of space. So we are saying individual soul. I am individual soul. There is no individual soul. There is nothing. It is all consciousness. But how we are doing that? Because we are thinking buddhi in our understanding, ashuddha buddhi, impure intellect, thinking I am this physical stuff. No? But everywhere the consciousness, even doctors will say, your consciousness is. You say, I am paralytic. What paralysis? That you are not feeling the awareness. But yeah, everywhere it is all permeated into that consciousness from the toe to head. That's the hair is growing every day. Huh? Here is no less consciousness is there in the absence of consciousness. But it's going through different layers of our personality. But that to think about that, but I am that consciousness again and again to think makes it our spiritual life. In the verse number 7, the meaning when Sri Ramakrishna describes himself as a machine that his mother Kali acts through. Is verse 7 the meaning? Acha. 7 verses meaning, does it say so? Oh, if you say that this consciousness is mother, yeah, okay. Or the music we sing, Ami যন্ত্র তুমি যন্ত্রী আমি ঘর তুমি ঘরণী আমি রথ তুমি রথী যেমন চালাও তেমন চলি. That is the song, no? So yes, that can be taken in that way. It says consciousness or it says mother. Mother is the force by which my hand is raised, my feeling is happening, I have a pain, I am feeling good food, a good taste, everything, feeling, emotion, understanding, everything is coming by mother. You call mother, and someone called, Ramakrishna said, কি বলে কালী ব্রহ্ম জেনে মর্ম ধর্ম
দুটো ছেড়েছি।
সব ছেড়েছি, হ্যাঁ কাল জেনেছি Kali Brahma. Kali, Mother Kali is equal to Brahman. If you equate that, only terminology is not the important. The consciousness which permeates. The consciousness. Ami Jantro. I am the instrument. But you are the machinist. In you is the power. So you as, oh Mother, you remain in me as consciousness. And as I drive, I only run. So this is the language of the devotion. But the ideology, philosophy is the same. It is the consciousness we are indicating. Mother is not a simple limited person standing over there. It's not like that. She is permeated everywhere and she is at the base and ground of every existence, every action, every reaction. So, yes, we can take it as Mother Kali acts to us, if you are a mother devotee. But you have to understand Mother is Satchidananda. She is the source of all reality, apparent reality. Everything is permeated. Srinoti, I am hearing because of you. I am seeing because of you. You are the conscious entity giving the strength and power behind everything. Another question, is there such a thing as pot space? Of course, pot space is there. So long the pot is there, you say that in my room, this I have kept this big jar. In early days, you don't do put nowadays. In early days, people used to made earthen jar to keep rice and other things, in India at least. So it takes, this room is small and my jar has taken so much space. Your box, why not think about it, forget jar? You say your box, your travel box or bag, traveling bag, carry-on bag, not carry-on. What do you call? Suitcase. A suitcase is space. It's taking too much space in your room. If it's a small room, I have no room for the suitcase. The suitcase taking some space. So similarly, the jar is taking space. You put 10 jars in this room, then we will not be able to move so freely because it has taken some space. So actually, does space exist in the pot or does the pot exist in the space? You are correct. Pot exists in the space. In the pot, you put that pot here, so space is there, and you say it is taking the space. So pot is actually placed in the space. You're
Because,
right.
one person asked this question in your Sunday lecture, but you didn't answer, so I just put it here.
This is a Sunday question, Sunday lecture question. Okay, so we are reading whether
And he's attending the class today.
today also.
But that is
Acha, the ghosts which met Sri Ramakrishna at Gopala's ma, it should be corrected. Why did not they request him to liberate them instead of requesting him to leave them alone? That's the question. Even God comes before us. Shall we ask, give me liberation, give me darshan? We'll say, oh Lord, you have come, give me 100,000. Let me have a lottery. I can gain 1 million. Huh? So it depends upon. Even if God comes, who is asking for highest experience? The ghosts, they are in those ghosts, they are not so pure that their mind will ask for God realization. So they think that we are happy. Uh, as the people are happy with mundane things. No? So they are happy in their life. Freedom from all bondage is a real yearning, but it does not come. Whether you are in a gross body or in a subtle body, your mind is the same mind, no? Here, I am here. I am here with a physical body, plus my inner body is the mind and intellect. The mind is that when I die, what will happen? The same mind will go into the subtle body. Mind remaining the same. So my tendency, my desire, my level of spirituality, all will be there. So if Ramakrishna comes, what will he say? That story of the Ramakrishna story, let us remember. Ramakrishna, one old lady, poor old lady, widow, and she has no other means, no one is there in the world to support her. So she used to go into the forest and collect some firewood and carry them and sell them and maintain herself like that. So every day she was calling upon God, oh God, why not come and just let me die? What is this life? Every day to carry this load and earn little money and so much toiling and little for food. Huh? God is gracious with everybody. He is not gracious on me. I don't want to carry on this type of life. So one day God became very pleased and he appeared. Okay, okay, come. So come with me. They said, oh, I didn't ask you to go, take me there. But I cannot leave this bundle, so put it on my head. So she is asking God to help. And when God came, actually, she was not ready for that. She says, oh, I'm happy with it. Put the load on my head so that I can carry it. I cannot lift myself alone. So you help me too. So we want more load to carry on our head. Who now wants God? Ramakrishna said, huh? People said that jar full of tears for any worldly thing, cries for God. So those ghosts, even we, look at us, how much we want God. Who is feeling that today is gone in West? I have not realized God. Who? Ramakrishna used to cry every day, seeing the sun setting. Another day is gone. Oh, mother, I have not seen you. You have not come in my life. No? So, I think these ghosts are also like that. They are not in that level so that they want liberation. So they want to have their own area to live in their own thought level. Okay? So I think done?
Yeah.
Acha. Chale, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. So tomorrow will be the Swami Medhananda, no?
No, tomorrow is a gospel class.
Oh, acha. Tomorrow Swami Sumanashananda will be the gospel, and day after tomorrow, Thursday, Vivekananda's philosophico poetic debate with Mary Hell, a closer look by Swami Medhananda. So tomorrow, Swami Sumanoshananda ji will be giving the gospel class, and next day will be Medhananda Swami giving the talk in the evening, 7:30. Please come.